This is from David. David shares this article here, and this is interesting. So the U.S. military, despite all the money they get, according to this Vice article, could collapse within 20 years due to climate change. This is a report commissioned by the Pentagon, says. Interesting that it was commissioned by the Pentagon. The Pentagon's like, hey, we might be in trouble in 20 years. You better give us more money. We're already getting about 80% of the budget. We need more. Let's up it to like 95, then we'll talk. Just give us unlimited currency. Oh, wait, we basically already have that too. Well, let's throw some more money in it. Where's the money going towards? Certainly not going to the boots on the ground. Certainly not going towards the people that are in the military that have been crushed by economic circumstances, which is what put a lot of them there in the first place. It's going to the military-industrial complex, the people who really run the show. Anyway, I guess they need more money. U.S. military could collapse within 20 years due to climate change. What's going on here? According to a new U.S. Army report, Americans could face a horrifically grim future from climate change involving blackouts, disease, thirst, starvation, and more. That's true. The study found that the U.S. military itself might also collapse. Oh, no. You tell me humanity might collapse. Well, whatever. Say la vie. But the military? No. All right. This could all happen over the next 2 decades, the report notes. The senior U.S. government officials who wrote the report are from several key agencies, including the Army, Defense Intelligence Agency, and NASA. The study called on the Pentagon to urgently prepare for the possibility that domestic power, water, and food systems might collapse due to the impacts of climate change as we near mid-century. The report was commissioned by General Mark Milley, Trump's new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, making him the highest-ranking military officer in the country. The report also puts him at odds with Trump, who does not take climate change seriously. The report, titled Implications of Climate Change for the U.S. Army, was launched by the U.S. Army War College in partnership with NASA in May at the Wilson Center in Washington, D.C. Okay, here's a suggestion. Call me an idealist, which I'm sure a lot of people do anyway. We already have this huge infrastructure of military. We spend more on our military than pretty much the next 13 countries combined. Pretty much all of our budget goes towards the military. That's why other countries, in their immigration centers and stuff like that, they have a pie chart indicating where their budget goes. I saw Scotland's, for instance, and they have all these different graphs. Some of it goes towards health spending. Some of it goes towards education. Some of it goes towards, some of it does go towards the military. Some of it goes towards media. Some of it goes towards, you get the idea. We couldn't have that in the United States because the entire pie chart would just be military and then a little sliver, and the little sliver would just say everything else in small print. That's what it would look like if we had something like that in the United States. But anyway, we have this huge structure. So what if instead of endless war, we just used the military to actually build infrastructure, to actually fix some of the problems here domestically, to actually reinvest in our roads and our bridges, and build solar panels and build windmills and build sustainable farms. All those things we could do with people who have already enlisted. And instead of it being the military for endless war, it could be an organization committed to jobs. It could go into our jobs guarantee. And it could be dedicated to combating climate change. Hell, we can even call it a war if you want. The war to marginalize the effects of climate change. The war to adapt to climate change. That's a war I could get on board with. I'll tell you what. If you ever want, hey, has there ever been a war that Ron Placone's been in favor of? Yes, the war to minimize the effects of climate change. We can call it a war if you want. That's a war I can get behind. The war against well, not necessarily against climate. I mean, climate change is a thing. It's going to happen. It's not like we can prevent it. We can just adapt to it, try to minimize its effects, do something. That's a war I could get behind. Why don't we have the military dedicate themselves to that war? Because according to the Army themselves, we're in a whole lot of trouble. Build highways, build bridges, repair our roads, invest in solar panels. Really institute the Green New Deal with the military behind it. When I say that, I don't mean the greening of the military like Liz Warren suggests. We're like, we're going to bomb people more sustainably. That's not what I mean. I mean actually utilizing those resources and those people to do good things for our own country. What if we just did that? We could, by the way. Everything I'm describing, we could do that. We could do all that very easily. We could combat homelessness with this. We could address poverty. We could redistribute food. We can invest in urban farming. We can invest in roads, bridges. By the way, this is why a federal jobs guarantee is a good thing, because all the things I just described, going to take people to institute that. And no, robots aren't going to manage it. We don't have to worry about automation in a lot of these, for instances. So why don't we do that? If the military's in trouble here, why don't we do that? That's something we could do. But you know why we don't? Because the people who really run this place wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like that.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your